Hi everyone, today's just a video of Tessa, my Bredli carpet python. I'm not talking about anything specific to do with her, I guess, more about Bredli's disposition, temperament, same sort of thing, personalities, little bits. But Tessa was just content to lay there and watch me, and I was quite content to sit there and watch her actually. So Bredli's a big snakes, guys, and I can't reiterate enough, which I didn't really in this video, how important it is to make time for them from very little, because they end up very big. And you can see Lily right there wanting to come out, but I'm going to leave you here. We're going on to my beautiful girl Tessa, and I'm feeling okay. I felt better, but I'm not too bad. And thank you for everybody who's been asking as to how I'm feeling. The worst of it is just this headache. Otherwise, I'm all good. I'll see you with Tessa. Good morning, Sunny. Good morning, Sweet Pea. How you doing? Here's your food. Here's your breakfast. Gonna come and have breakfast? Hey? Good morning, lovely people. Well, morning here. You may hear kabang, kabang and so forth in this video because the guys are back continuing to finish off my roof, which has been taking a lot longer than I actually thought that it would. My day is, well, I've been going for a while now, really, but as in terms of rocking and rolling with all the animals, I've only really just wrapped my head round it, as you can hear. But yeah, hold the camera up, Gabe. Oh, it's like this arm just slowly, you know, drops down. Like, think of it as my eyelids closing and opening. Hey, sweetie. So every morning, it's kind of, well, yes, it is, and I won't say it isn't. It is get Sunny out and get the day going with her. She loves to have her pats. And of course, the first thing she does is she, you know, jumps on my hand. I put her up here onto her perch and she goes to the toilet. Don't you? That's what you do for me every morning, and Mum really appreciates it. I know I've got the camera, but what else has been happening? Well, lots, really. I'm feeling not too bad today. And this is the next day after starting to feel with a sore throat, etc. Now I'm going to get some, even though the light is on, I'm going to throw, or try and throw a bit more light on so we can see Tessa over here in her enclosure a bit better. Now, Tessa is my Bredli, and she's a big girl. So people, if you are thinking about getting yourself a Bredli, understand that they are big. She is a lot bigger than Lily. Ultimately, looking at Oscar, who is my coastal, he's not going to be a very big boy either. He's going to be one of those little ones in terms of coastals. Though I would say he's got a bit of growing to do over this coming year, because generally that 2-year mark, they do tend to grow substantially actually. But Tessa here, 4 years old, are you not? And have a look at you. And the reason why I'm pointing this out is you will notice her tail and how it is, or the back end of her and how it is. I see her like this, and I don't know if I've mentioned it in a video before. I see her like this all of the time. But I do also want to show you Tessa, just so you can see what I'm talking about with my girl in terms of that tail. It is never, rarely, I'm not going to say never, but it is rarely curled up with the rest of her. Who else is kind of in that mood? Not Tessa. But there's the tail, just for you to see again. No matter where she is, she does have most of it coiled, but she always has this back end. And I haven't opened the glass. I can, but mainly the reason why I haven't opened is I fed Tessa last night. So she is one of those that still thinks, there might be more food coming. Now, she had 2 really large rats to eat last night, so she certainly doesn't need any more rats in her belly, though she thinks she does. Don't you? Hey? Hopefully there's not major heat coming off this camera for a start. But I also want to talk about Bredli's disposition, I guess you could say. Now, I know there's many a Bredli out there that have incredibly cool, calm dispositions, temperaments, but I also know there's some that are not so much like that. So it's kind of, I think, a bit of potluck a lot of the time as to what you're going to get when it comes to the Bredlis. I've just recently had somebody talk about he's got a Bredli male that is sweet and just been so calm, and she's figured out now, you know, Mum's not giving me anything to eat. Sonny, I'm right here. She's not giving me anything to eat. And generally this will be the way they are too. You know, initially, if you open up the door, and this is talking about this subject of this Bredli, and you know, his disposition has completely changed. Opening the door, he's immediately defensive. He's, completely different snake. He's 7 months old now, and the only thing that had changed pretty much for this little Bredli, who was sweet and gentle and loving and beautiful, and is, as a 7-month-old, decided to start feeding him in his enclosure, because it's going to be very hard to tub a snake this size and feed them. I guess you buy a big tub. But I now have dogs barking. Jed. Yeah. What? What do you want, Mum? Hey, come here. Come here, Buff. Come here, Mr. Buffy. He so needs a haircut, as you can see. Though I gave him a bit of a brush today. It doesn't look like it, but I did. I gave him a brush. Anyway, back to the Bredlis. So that's the only thing that has actually changed, is no longer tub feeding, feeding in the enclosure. And why has his behaviour completely changed, and why all of a sudden is he so defensive? And yes, darling.
Oh, Dad.
Yes, Jed's barking, isn't he? He's barking. It's okay, Nana's doing a video. I'm doing a video of Tessa. Yeah, righto. Anyway, basically, is it because he's now feeding him in his enclosure? I don't believe so. If you ask somebody that feeds your snake in their enclosure, but you, I guess, in between the feeds, this is in between the feeds, you open the door and you let them come out and so forth, and that way they don't always are associating. Open the door, in comes some food. I also suggested a little bit of just putting the feeder down on a plate and letting this little one find it. A little bit of even hide and seek with it, and not actually put it in and get him to strike at his food. Take that away from them if all of a sudden you're starting to see that defensive display when you open the door. Now, as you saw, Tessa did exactly the same thing, even though I only just fed her last night. So her brain is still a little bit, food. But as you saw, as much as she was interested in that initially, hang on, Bub. I almost finished, Bub. As you saw, now she gets it. Now she completely understands that, no, there's no food. And I see her relax. I see her go back to just chilling. And if, of course, she was digested, I'd be in the position to actually get her out or let her come out, actually. Sometimes I give her a little bit of a poke and say, come on, move. But otherwise, she will come out on her own. So it's about just tweaking things and changing things, and it's a patience game. Open the door, walk away, let them realise, well, where's the rat? Where's me food? And give them time to think about, no food, it's all gone. It's gone, it's not happening, all the rest of it. And watch them relax, watch them go back into that mode of, oh well, it's not food, cool. And then approach them. You've got to give them a little bit of time to process what is going on. So it's a bit boring, isn't it? I've just been sitting here with Tessa, but this is a little bit about the Bredlis, and if you are thinking about getting one, it can be a bit of potluck. I'm telling you, it can. I mean, Tessa come to me with all that defensiveness ongoing for quite some time. Of course, she's, as you can see, she's settled down heaps and just growing like the weeds in my garden are at the moment. Aren't you? Hey? And I cleaned up. She made a mess. I cleaned up, but she's been laying on this hide because she doesn't go in this hide. And I can't clean the top of the hide, and I'm not budging her because she's too comfortable at the moment. She'll move. I mean, it's not wet on there, but I'd like to give it a bit of a clean up if I could. And now I've got to go. I've got to go because I have a young boy that is into washing dishes. Did you fall over? Washing dishes and doing all those sorts of things. And there, of course, is, if we can see her. No, she was not fed last night. It was a Tessa and a Lily night because sometimes not all of mine feed in exactly the same day. But before I go, this is but before I go, because I will do a better video. As you can see, that's really dark, and I hate putting Jesse's light on in here. He only has, as you may see, well, here, I don't know if you can see, a fluorescent, and that gets really, really hot. So I decided, as much it might be as a pain in my butt putting on batteries, changing batteries, but I gave Jessie some light. Well, up top I gave Jessie light, didn't I, Jessie? You were sticky nosing and watching what I was doing, and hey, what's up, and what are you doing in there, Mum? Hey? And now I got more of these hanging branches, and he pretty much has a tunnel from one side of his enclosure to the other, and I'm really liking it. So yeah, I don't know if Jesse is, but he's right up top here. He's not on his bottom hanging hammock. He's, yeah, decided the top one's pretty good because he was digesting, but I'm pretty sure he's digested now, so he might start moving around and doing things. Hello. Hi, Jesse. What you doing, bud? You're thinking, where did these leaves and lights? So I used the bird, you know, thing that you would sit there bowling, and I just wrapped the lights around and put the plants on and connected them, and Bob's your uncle. Turned out I really like it, if I say so myself. So I just thought I'd show you that and finish up on that, and finish up on sunny, though we're in the pointing at the window with the sun shining through. Oh, you got food on your nose. Have a look at you. Have a look. I don't know what you look like. Do you want me to get off? There you go. Hey? Just don't stick that back in my face. Anyway, guys, take care of yourself, hey? Your family, your friends. The snake. There's a snake. I can't see any snakes. I've got 10 and you can't see any because they're all kind of hiding. Lily? I know you're digesting in there. She's right down the bottom there. Take care of your snakes and all your animals. Ciao.